Hello, my name's Bedrock, and today I'm going to show you how to make your very own flame turret in Minecraft with only a few simple commands.
Fine. Breathe. That was a stupid design.
So the cool thing about this turret is since we're using an armor stand, you can kind of change however it looks. You can put some like mob heads, you can put armor, you can kind of change what he's holding, change whatever pose he's in. You can kind of customize your little turret to kind of look however you want, and you can basically just place it anywhere. All you need to do is have an armor stand and a name tag called turret. You place it, name your armor stand, boom, that is now a flame turret. And anytime a mob is near this turret, they're going to look at it. They're going to look at it and they're going to shoot fire breath at any of the mobs. You can see it's really strong on base defense. You can just have a few of these outside your base. Absolutely no mobs are going to get in. If you have like a tower defense type of game that you want to make, this is also a really effective tool for that. Alright, now let's get into the commands. Okay, so the first command that we have here is the command that's going to make the armor stand rotate in place. So the way that we're doing that is we're starting with an execute command for any armor stand that is named turret. And then we have an at, and then we use the at symbol, and then at s. That just means it's going to be teleporting itself to its same position. With this command, with these tildes right here, we're just teleporting it to the same place, but it is going to be facing whatever monster is closest to it within a 7-block radius, which is the range that the turret has. Basically, we leave this command. It is repeating. It's going to be always active on a 0-tick delay. This just means that your turrets will always be rotating towards the closest monster that is in range. Next, we have this little pillar of commands, which looks kind of imposing, but I promise you it's not. It's only to add the sounds and the little flamethrower particles that make it really feel like it's a flamethrower turret. So we start off with the sound. Basically, we're doing the same execute command that we did in the last command. So executing at a turret named armor stand, and we're going to be using an if, which is basically we're going to check if there is a monster within 7 blocks, so you don't want the sound to be on all the time, only if something's in range. So if there is something in range, we're going to play the mob gassed fireball, and we're going to play it for all players within 20 blocks. We're going to play it at normal volume, and we're going to slightly change the pitch to make it sound a little bit more like a flamethrower. You don't necessarily need to know what all these numbers mean here, just try and copy it the best you can. Then we're going to have this command, which is going to be the first of the particle commands. So we're using very similar to the last command. We have an execute for the armor stand. If there is an entity that's a monster within 7 blocks, then it's going to anchor at the eyes, which that basically just means it's going to be raising the elevation up so the particles are equal to the eyes of the armor stand. And if that's the case, it's going to throw flame 0.3 blocks in front of where the mob is facing. Next command is exactly the same, except this one right here. Everything else about this command is exactly the same as the last one, just this number right here. That's going to place the particle slightly further out than the last particle. And guess what? Same thing again. This one's at 2. Same command again at 3. Same command again at 4. Same command again with 5. Same command again at 6. And you probably guessed it, the same command again at 7. This is just going to create a line of particles, which makes it really feel like a flamethrower. It's kind of repetitive, but it really gets the look, and quite frankly, I just think it looks really cool. And finally, the most important part, there's no point in having a flame turret if it's not able to damage things. So the last command here is the one that's going to be damaging stuff. So this is the one that if you guys want to change how the turret works, this is the command that you want to mess with the most, and I'll kind of explain how you can do that after I explain how the command works. So once again, we're starting all the way at the top, executing as the turret, and it's going to do at s. That's just going to make sure it's in the same position as the entity. Then we're going to be checking if there is a monster nearby, and if so, we're going to basically go 4 blocks out from wherever the armor stand is looking, And that's just so that way the damage is going forward, not necessarily in like a radius around the turret. It's actually where the turret's looking. And then we are going to run the damage command for any monster within 4 blocks. So that's 4 blocks out. We have a 4-block circle. And it's going to only hit the closest 2. It's going to deal a damage of 10. And is going to deal fire damage to the entity. And then we have at S. So that means the turret is actually dealing the damage. Which means that when it hurts a mob, the mobs are going to become aggressive towards the turret. Now, they won't actually be able to kill it because it is an armor stand. But this is actually going to make the mobs kind of be angry at the turret and come at the turret, which is actually going to make it easier for the turrets to then kill them. And another important thing is we have a 6-tick delay here. That's just the rate how often it's going to be damaging people. Other than that, it is always active in a repeating command. So when it comes to how you want to change things, so right here I have C equals 2. That means it's only going to be damaging 2 mobs with every time it attacks. Now, the reason being is it's that way if there's a horde of mobs, you can actually have a couple different turrets, and having multiple turrets beside each other is going to be helpful. If you wanted to damage all mobs within that range, you simply get rid of this right here, and that's going to be dealing a lot of damage to a lot of hordes of enemies. And if that's what you want to do, you can go ahead and do that. If you only want to hit 1 mob at a time, you can put C equals 1 here. If you want to damage 4 or whatever, put C equals 4, and that's how many mobs it can potentially hurt per attack. That's all that means. The other thing that you're likely going to want to change if you're messing around is this number right here. So this 10 is how much damage it's doing per attack. 10 damage is half the health of a player. So if I wanted to be able to do way more damage, or I'm instantly going to kill anything, I could do 300, or I could do 30, I could do 300, I could do 3,000, or if I want to make it do less damage for whatever reason, I can turn that number down. I can turn it down to 3, or I can go all the way down to 1, so it's only doing a little bit of damage. So if you guys want to adjust your turret, this is the command that you really want to mess with to kind of change how powerful your turret is. But overall, that's pretty much it. It's a pretty simple design, but it's going to be very effective when it comes to defending your base. Hey guys, have an idea that you want me to make into a future video? Leave it in the comments and maybe, just maybe, you'll see it be made into its very own tutorial. Now, since this command that we're using is an armor stand, you're going to be able to decorate it however you want. So in this example, I put a little dragon's head on. You can put on some armor, you can kind of change his pose, change what he's holding and whatnot. There's a lot of different stuff, so you can kind of customize your turret to look however you want. I'm going to record that again because my phone went off. I don't know if you could hear it or not.